Average is the top of the bottom and the bottom of the top.
Spoke at a level where, we could really relate and we could really understand what he was talking about.
Stop wasting your time on people who are drifting nowhere.
He was articulate. He had a lot of good stories. He was easy to understand.
Average is like a painkiller that lulls you to sleep while it slowly numbs your senses.
He came out with this absolutely awesome speech about how we can be different and we can be individuals.
Your belief system. What is it that you really believe about yourself, young person? What do you really believe? Do you believe all the hype? Because it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to.
I definitely will take his 7 principles and apply them to my life.
I'm going to talk to you this morning real quick from the subject, breaking the spirit of average. It's going to be your attitude that's going to determine your success or your failure. You must read daily. Let me say this to you, that knowledge is a weightless treasure that you can take anywhere with you. You must get somebody that's going to stretch you and not shrink you. You must get somebody that's going to make you better and not make you bitter. Who's thinking for you? What have they told you? What lies have they told you? Who said you couldn't? Why can't you do that? Number one, you don't owe opposition any explanation as to why you are about to have a magical life. Say average breaker.
Average breaker.
All day?
All day.
Every day.
Every day.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Welcome to Gospel Flash. Today we have none other than Joseph B. Washington from Atlanta, Georgia. Welcome, Mr. Joseph Washington.
Well, welcome. Thank you.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Joseph B. Washington, passion speaker, author of one of the top books in the country, Breaking the Spirit of Average. And I'm here in your great city of Miami, Florida, about to do a conference on the 28th. And we're excited. We're excited about being here.
Oh, great. Well, we are excited that you are coming to Florida because what I know is your first time here in the Miami area.
Yes, it is.
All right. And tell us a little bit about what is breaking the spirit of average.
Well, about 6 years ago, I decided to not live a life, but design a life that would allow me to wake up when I finished sleeping. I had worked in corporate America, and, most times in corporate America, you work just hard enough so that you don't get fired, and they pay you just enough so that you don't quit. And I knew that I wanted to do something that was beyond what I was currently doing. I got tired of looking at VH1 and looking at the opulence of other wealthy people, wishing it was me. So I decided to not only break the spirit of average, but design a life that would allow me to turn an average life into an awesome life. So I wrote this book with 7 incredible principles that we're traveling around the world that we believe are going to affect and make a difference in the world.
Now, with me reading, I know that it's an acronym of average. Could you tell us what that means?
Yeah, and the reason why I use acronyms is because from the time I was born up until the time I was about 13 years of age, I had a severe speech impediment, and I stuttered severely. I had a mother who was bipolar, whose mood swings would change every 5 seconds. And my brother would have me come out to the middle of the street so that I could talk, because he's trying to win friends at my expense. He loves me, but this is a way for him to win friends. So he says, start talking, and I would hear stuff like, man, your brother's stupid, he's dumb. I had an aunt actually told my mother, stop bringing me to the family reunion because I embarrassed them. And around the age of 8, I ran into the house and I told my mother, I said, it's true, I'm stupid and I'm dumb. And my mother told me, sit down, and here's what she said to me. She said, Joseph, you're neither stupid or dumb. It's just that your brain and your mouth ain't caught each other. We got to get them to catch each other. And so we were able to do that over the years through some fundamentals and some techniques that she trained me on. But I use acronyms because I believe people can remember acronyms and they can remember quotes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
So could you tell us 1 or 2 or maybe 3
Sure.
of what average means?
Well, what I did was I took the word average and I created these principles. I think what is important is first we must define what is average. And average is the top of the bottom and the bottom of the top. It is the best of the worst and the worst of the best. I define average as a painkiller that lulls you to sleep while it slowly numbs your senses. And so I took the word average and I said, if I can use each letter of the word average and build this roadblock, build this pyramid that can get me to success, then I think everybody would understand it. So the letter A in the word average is simple: adopt a positive attitude. I believe that the first principle of life, we've coined the phrase average breaker, that the first principle of life of becoming an average breaker, or breaking the spirit of average, is to adopt a positive attitude. I'll say this quickly. If you take the word attitude and you count each letter of the word attitude where it falls in the alphabet numerically, it comes out to exactly 100. Wow. So the letter A is the first letter of the alphabet. The letter T is the 20th letter. Next T in attitude is 20. But if you take the word knowledge, comes out to 96. Hard work comes out to 98. So although you have tremendous knowledge and you're a hard worker, it is your attitude that's going to determine your success or your failure. Why? Attitude cracks the door. Knowledge and skill gets you the job. So we're teaching young people as well as people my age or age the possibilities of what can happen. Number one, if you participate in your own rescue and you adopt a positive attitude. Another principle I like the letter G in the word average, and that is to guard your goals. I say this: a short pencil is better than a long memory. You got to write your goals down. You know, at my age now, I can't remember stuff like I used to, so I've got to put them to pen. Here's what I know: you never write your goals in concrete. You always write them in quicksand, because they're going to change. Life is going to change. But what happens when we lock them in and they don't come to pass? What do? We quit. We say this doesn't work. But if you give yourself some flexibility, it will absolutely work. I like this other one too, and this is what we tell young people around the country all the time: read daily. You know, they're building jails now, right now, based on the 4th grade reading level of young African American boys. And they know if these cats can't read, they're going to end up robbing and stealing. And so what we try to get parents and young people alike to do is start to read. Here's what I know: knowledge is a weightless treasure that you and I can take anywhere with us. Right. And see, although I couldn't articulate a sentence when I was growing up, I could read. So finally, when I could start talking, and as you know, I'm very loquacious. So I'll use the word loquacious because I'm trying to impress people now. But you know, when I could start talking, all that stuff that I read started gushing out of me. And now people pay me a bunch of money, guess what, to run my mouth, because I took reading as the first example. I did better in school as I became a stronger reader. See, a lot of people, it's not that they're dumb, or a lot of our kids are not that they're not smart, they're just not strong readers. 15 minutes of daily reading can change your zip code. It can change where you live, it can change what you drive. Reading is fundamental.
I believe very strongly on that, and I'm so impressed with breaking the spirit of average, how you have actually put it in other languages as well. As we have here, you have one in Spanish.
In Spanish, absolutely.
And so definitely this message is not just American.
Right.
It definitely is with other countries as
absolutely.
well. Can you tell us some places that you've already visited
yeah.
speaking?
Yeah, well, you know, I just left Nairobi, Kenya, where we spoke to about 30,000 phenomenal Africans there in the Coliseum. We flew over to Zurich, Switzerland, and then we left Israel and Tel Aviv, where I had the awesome privilege to be at the Wailing Wall and actually have prayer there. That was probably the highlight, you know, for me, being able to go to the White House and speaking to 3,000 soldiers at Fort Bragg in Fayetteville, North Carolina, having Walmart fly you in a Learjet to the Essence Festival and speak there, and then having people Facebook you saying, dude, man, we didn't know you could talk, man, you could like speak. But this is my gift that God has given me, and all I'm trying to do is just be a good steward over it. I know my calling. I know what He's called me to do. I'm a marketplace minister. That's where God has placed me, into the marketplace as well as the church, but to make millions and millions of dollars so that we can fund the ministries, fund the churches, but also put us in a position where we can help other people wake up when they finish sleeping. I love waking up when I finish sleeping. So whenever I get done sleeping is when I get up.
All right. Well, definitely with you going to so many different places and with your speaking, your passion for it, where can we see you going years from now or months from now with your speaking? Well,
you know, we put some things in place. You know, we have the Breaking the Spirit of Average message. We just created another message called I Want My Crayons Back. Okay. And I'm not saying please. You know,
Okay.
they took our crayons in the 4th grade and gave us a number 2 pencil. And you remember prior to that, when we were little, we were going to be something different every week.
Oh, yeah.
But then as we matriculated through life and we got around average people who do average things, we started to take the pencil that they gave us and we said, you know what, medical school is too much, it's too long, so we erased it. We said, I'll be the medical assistant. Being a lawyer is too much schooling, so we erased it and said, I'll be the paralegal. Nothing wrong with those attributes, but we changed our mind because we no longer thought with creativity and imagination. I want to teach America how to get their crayons back, and on this run, you don't have to say please. And so we see in the future of just changing the world, you know, changing people's lives, one mindset at a time. Because as a man thinketh, so is he. David Schwartz said it's not the size of your brain, but it's the size of your thinking that will determine your destiny and your purpose. Most people have stinking thinking, and we've got to rewrite that, and we've got to let them know you have the absolute right to live out your divine purpose, because this life here, you get one shot. This is not a practice run. We cannot do this again. So we're going to the world, not just America, but we're going to take this message globally.
Oh, wow. Well, I know you've been impacting a lot of people and you enjoy what you're doing
Yes.
with speaking. Is there a time where you felt like giving up?
Every day. Every
Wow.
day. I'm grateful for what God has done. I'm never at the point where I feel like I've arrived because I hear other speakers. I hear them articulate. I hear how polished they are and how they say all the right words. They do all the right thing. I never took a class on speaking. You remember, I stuttered
Yes.
severely. And that's not something that I just say because a lot of speakers like to say they had a speech impediment or they stuttered to make their story better. Mine's is documented. So the fact that I'm speaking is God's grace, you know, and so I rely on him every single day that I stand in front of an audience of 10 or an audience of 30,000. So every day, you know, if it was up to me, I would let it go and do something else because I never feel adequate enough. But that's the hand of God. And that's when you know that this, what I'm doing, is definitely God. It's not me.
Okay. Well, how can people get in contact with you and to purchase the book and to see where you're going to be at next?
Well, as you know, we're going to be here October 28th here in Miami. And I know you all will be following up with some information about that, the whereabouts and all that. But they can always go to my website at www.josephb.washington.com. And they can send me an email address. They can order the book. Or they can go to repathletics.com. They can find us there because, you know, we have an athletic company that we just started called Rep Athletics, which is Respect Every Play. And probably the easiest way to hit me is just email me. And you can email me at contact@josephbwashington.com. And I'm the CEO that's accessible.
Okay.
I make personal calls back because we get a lot of calls from parents around the country whose young people have been affected by this message. And I want to say this too on the 28th. We want all parents, if it's possible, to bring their young people out, because we want them to hear this message. And I'm going to do a special session after the event. I'm going to take about 15 or 20 minutes to talk to just the teenagers that come and really speak into their purpose.
I'm really inspired by everything that you're doing, but could you tell our audience anything that would inspire them not to just go to the event, but also if they're not able to go to the event, you know, what would be something that you would say to inspire them?
I would say this, and you know, you and I have talked off camera, that I don't believe in all the rah-rah stuff, because I believe that when Monday comes for adults, there are grown issues that we deal with. We have grown car payments, grown mortgages, we got little grown kids that need grown stuff, and so the rah-rah stuff doesn't work. Here's what I would say. Number one, I would say trust God. Number two, I would say that you absolutely today have to make a choice. You have to make a choice today to either stay average or break the spirit of average. And how you go about doing that today, because we don't want to wait till tomorrow or next week because it's not promised to us, but if today an individual can examine their lives and have the emotional integrity to be honest about where they are and ask God for a change, I believe life can begin. Most people don't want to examine where they are because they're afraid of what they're going to see. And so they live lives of quiet desperation with the hopes that they never get found out. I got exposed, and that was the greatest thing that happened to me from my mentor, because one of the principles of average is the letter E, which is enlist the help of a mentor. You need somebody who's going to stretch you and not shrink you, but you yourself must first look at yourself, ask the question, if what I'm doing today currently is what I would be doing or would like to do the rest of my life, If it's not, then you need to make a change. I think change starts today, and it's just by making a decision. And then read my book, and we'll give you the principles of how to do that.
All right. Well, wow, I'm excited. I know I'm going to be there. But we definitely have enjoyed you here.
I appreciate
and
it.
Thank you for your time. And we look forward to the other events that you're going to be coming back here
Absolutely.
in South Florida.
Sure.
Okay.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for joining us here at Gospel Flash. Check us out, www.gospelflash.com.